Hi, this is Yolanda, and welcome to a brand new edition of Digital Marketing Masters. Now, on this show, the new revamped show, it is my goal to give you all the tips and strategies that you need to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ. On this show, we're talking about how you can cultivate a church culture on Facebook. Now, it's locked down. Churches are locked down, but we can stand in the place to know that our spiritual lives and our relationship with God is not dependent on church building. All right, the home is the first church, and it is always great to get together with the community to have fellowship in that way. And today I want to show you how you can extend the church community onto Facebook. Now, a lot of churches are on Facebook. Pastors are online, ministers are online, they're streaming their services online, and it's great. However, the Facebook algorithm is a funny thing. And as much as I encourage churches to have a Facebook page for your church to grow, but the Facebook page is mainly aimed at a cold audience. Those that don't know you, your church, your brand, or what you stand for. And the messaging on your page should be geared towards an outside sort of audience. However, when it comes to really cultivating a church community, meaning your congregation, your flock, you want to have that conversation happen in Facebook groups. Now, Facebook groups is a very intimate setting, completely different from Facebook pages. And it's a place where like-minded people can gather. And you will find that various communities are active on Facebook. They all have a specific goal. Moms, homeschooling moms, yoga teachers, yoga students, diet, weight loss, women. Whatever the topic is, individuals from all walks of life, all different kind of countries get together and just engage in these groups. They ask questions are answered. There's various rules. It's a community and it's a resource that people who are interested in that topic frequent. I mean, if you're really passionate about something, you join these groups and you engage. You ask questions. You're helpful to others who are on the same path as you. While you might be further along in the journey, you are there to guide them. And that's what happens in Facebook groups. Now, churches should be using Facebook groups in a similar sort of way. You need a group for your congregation. Now, know that not everybody is on Facebook, but your flock that are on Facebook should have a private space just for them, where they can engage and crack their inside jokes and share various, whatever their struggles are. As you would, before church starts, everybody's chatting and, just catching up on the week. All of that can happen on a digital platform like Facebook groups. And the thing about Facebook groups, you can't typically share things from outside the group. You can change the settings and really make it more private. And creating ministry groups are a great tool for not only facilitating a community, but also for enhancing church communications. So it's a great way to get messages out there to your workers, the ladies group, the youth group. And you could create different pages for those ministries of your church. However, the reach will be very low. And that's one of the key things of understanding what the Facebook algorithm is all about. If you like pages on your Facebook profile, if you're not engaging with those pages, most likely you're not going to see those updates. Whereas in the group, the algorithm is playing towards Facebook groups to their favor. And that's where you need to be cultivating and fostering that church culture for your congregation. The engagement rate is a lot higher. The visibility rate of people that belong to the group are much higher, which makes creating groups for ministries even more important. So let's say you create a group for your youth committee. They could plan their events, change ideas, share their testimonies. Everything can be done on the group, and it's just for your youth group. It's just for your young people. Everything stays in there. And obviously, you got to have some rules of engagement. You got to have a moderator in there, administrator in there, guiding the rules along. And it's a great way for, especially during this lockdown time where so many places are shut down, to keep that fire going in the various ministries that you have. The key to winning at Facebook groups is you got to have some kind of structure. You got to keep the conversation going. Sometimes you're in a group and nothing much happens. And people are different from how they are in person, and their online persona is different as well. So you got to have some structure in place. You got to have some guidelines in place. Have a program in place. On Mondays, it's person A's turn to monitor group, to run the conversation, to spark up the conversation, start with a day of prayer, have an encouraging word in there. On Tuesday, give it to somebody else, because especially in ministry, let it be voluntary. Let people take charge, give them some leadership abilities, however small it may be, whether it's just a day to facilitate in that group, to facilitate the conversation. People are on their phones all the time. And like we always say on the show, is that you got to be where your audience is, and your audience is online. And I know a lot of the really younger people are not so much on Facebook. They're on different platforms. So you got to find what works for you, and be where your audience is. All right, so that's my 2 cents on how you can be starting or cultivating a church culture on Facebook. And Facebook pages are not the key. It's Facebook groups. And because that's where all the buzz and that's where all the hype is coming. And there's a lot more development that's going to be happening in Facebook groups. That's what Facebook has been prioritizing. And I want the church to be the forefront of that and engaging their flock, and not losing the fire that we once had in in-person services. All right, so that's it for me. I hope that you like the new edition of this. Is, like I said in my previous post, or the previous episode, on the update that I've given you, is that times have changed, things have changed, and I gotta adapt my business to meet that goal, to meet that higher calling that I have over my life. All right. And I know I've most likely lost a lot of listeners, and that's okay. If I can help just one church, one ministry, one person with this podcast to expand your church online, I've met my goal. All right. So stay tuned. More of these tidbits coming in between. And also be sure to check out my website. All right. We've got a free masterclass there for you on Digital Disciple. So go and check out www.yolandarose.com and sign up for that free masterclass. And we're going to be breaking down digital media for the church in a lot greater detail in that masterclass. All right. So I'll see you in there.